You're listening to Stream, the podcast that tells you what's streaming on platform for subscription, rent, or buy. Sorry I've been away. I got the COVID-19, so I was away for a couple of weeks because everybody was home. I couldn't get to do anything. Plus I was coughing a lot. So couldn't really do any podcasts. So I'm going to play catch up because I kind of want to know what movies have came out and are coming out. So here we go. Now the first one, only one movie came out streaming on February 7th. And only one movie came out streaming on February 11th. The rest of them came out February 12th. But I just wanted to throw those in here instead of making a bunch of small podcasts with just one movie. So, the first one that came out streaming February the 7th, Heavy. A drug dealer and his girlfriend land in hot water when he tries to help an old childhood friend. It's a crime, mystery, and thriller drama, directed by Jory Smith, produced by David Atracchi, Jonathan Bronfman, Zachary Ty Bryan, Gal Cabot, Dylan D. Jordan, Boris Menza, Jory Smith, and Jay Van Hoy. Written by Seth Miller. It is 1 hour and 35 minutes long by NJNL Company, Full Dawa Films, Lost Lane Entertainment, Joe Burrow Productions and Film Finance, and Paper Chase Films. Some of the cast and crew: Alexander Elling as Tristan, Al Sapienza as Captain Harris, Matthias Varela as Rodrigo, Daryl Britt Gibson as Dave, Sophie Turner as Maddie, and Daniel Zavato as Seven. And this one is streaming on Hoopla, or you can rent or buy it on Amazon Video, Google Play, Vudu, and YouTube. Alright, this one came out streaming February 11th called Red Dot. 86 on the tomato meter, 32% on the audience score. On a hiking trip to rekindle their marriage, a couple find themselves fleeing for their lives in the unforgiving wilderness from an unknown shooter. It is a mystery and thriller. The language was made in Swedish. Directed by Alain Darborg. Written by Alain Darborg and Per Dixon. It is 1 hour and 26 minutes long by SF Studios. Sorry if I'm chopping up names. I'm going to try not to do this anymore, but I know I am. Thomas Bergstrom as Raleigh. Khaled Bustonen as Jarmo. Anastasios Solis as David. Nana Blondel as Badja. Johannes Kumk as Einer. And this one is streaming on Netflix. Alright, now for February the 12th movies. The first one's Meltdown. No tomato meter, no audience score. This movie follows Lynn and Tony to the tiny picturesque town of Ilulissat, Greenland, which is ground zero for the climate crisis. There they discuss the convergence of art and science and how we view the world. Beauty and tragedy share the stage, and each enlightens the other while examining how we all might address the global crisis of climate change. The documentary, directed by Frederick Golding, produced by Michael Toland. And then also for cast and crew has Tony Lyserowitz and Lynn Davis. And this one is for rent or buy on Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Fandango Now, Vudu, and Redbox. Breaking news in Yuba County. 8% on tomato meter, 45% audience score. A woman takes advantage of her growing celebrity status when the police and the public think her dead husband is just missing. It's rated R for violence, language, some nudity, and sexual content. It's a comedy, directed by Tate Taylor, produced by Tate Taylor, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Reva Marker. It's written by Amanda Idoko. It is 1 hour and 36 minutes long. Some of the cast and crew: Ellen Barkin as Debbie, Wanda Sykes as Rita, Aquafina as Mina, Regina Hall as Detective Kim Harris, Mila Kunis as Nancy, and Allison Janney as Sue Buttons. And this one you can only buy on Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Fandango Now, Vudu, Microsoft Store, and Redbox. Me, You, Madness. 20% on Tomato Meter, or 94% on the audience score. Catherine Black is a brilliant, ruthless businesswoman who runs a top hedge fund in LA. But below her fabulous, feminine, ice-cold public facade, she is privately and proudly a murderous psychopath. Enter Tyler Jones, a handsome young conman who turns up at Catherine's Malibu mansion by a too-good-to-be-true listing for a room for rent. Unfortunately, Tyler is unaware he's about to turn out to be her next victim. After being roofied and romanced by Catherine and her slinky model girlfriend, Tyler is swept up in his new life of riches and romance, blissfully ignorant that in between her board meetings and spin classes, Catherine partakes in serial murders and gruesome dismemberments. But sex and a stolen vintage Mustang with a corpse crammed in the trunk complicate their mutual scheming, and when Tyler discovers a freezer full of body parts in her garage, Catherine uses everything, including a broken martini glass, a hedge trimmer, a crossbow, and a chainsaw, to break up and chop up Tyler, all while struggling to keep his blood and her Bordeaux off the custom-made white couches. So, will the guy get the girl, or will the girl gut the guy? It's rated R for sexual content, brief drug use, nudity, language throughout, and some violence. It's a mystery and thriller comedy, directed by Louis Linton, written by Louise Linton. It's 1 hour and 38 minutes long. Some of the cast and crew: Gwen Van Dam as Grandma Betty, Shuya Chang as Yu Yan, Grant Goodman as Unsynchronized Biker, Joel Michaely as Patrick, Louise Linton as Catherine Black, and Ed Westwick as Tyler Jones. And this one is available for rent or buy on Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Fandango Now, Vudu, Microsoft Store, Redbox, and DirecTV. Skyfire, 57% on Tomato Meter, no audience score. Geologist Wintao Li vowed he would never return to Tanhuao Island after a catastrophic volcano eruption tragically killed his wife. But 20 years later, his daughter Ming continues his research work on the island that took her mother's life, developing a brilliant eruption forecasting system that could save countless lives. The island has now been transformed into a thrill-seeking theme park by greedy businessman Jack Harris, despite Ming's warning. She was right. Distraught over his daughter's safety, Wintao lands on the island as the volcano begins to erupt. It's a race against the clock to save his daughter and the tourists and villagers from the apocalyptic chaos. It's an action, mystery, and thriller. This was made language Chinese, directed by Simon West, produced by Chris Brimble, Jennifer Dong, Jib Polhemus, Emma Shan Wang. Written by Wei Bu and Sidney King. Is 1 hour and 37 minutes long, by Production Capital, Gotham Entertainment, Meridian Entertainment, China Film Company Ltd, Base FX, and Highland Film Group. Some of the cast and crew: Anne Bai as Jia Hua Dong, Sean Dao as Xingnan, Alice Retzfeld as Sue Miller, Zwekwi Wang as Wintao Lei, Hannah Quinlivan as Ming Li, and Jason Isaacs as Jack Harris. And this one is streaming on Spectrum On Demand, or you can rent or buy it on Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Vudu, Microsoft Store, Redbox, and DirecTV. Young Hearts, 63% tomato meter, no audience score. A 14-year-old develops a budding relationship with her brother's best friend while exploring unfair gender politics at their high school. It's a romance, directed by Sarah Sherman, Zachary Ray Sherman, produced by Elise Freeman O'Brien, written by Sarah Sherman. 1 hour and 21 minutes long by UNLTD Productions, Good Wizard, Duplass Brothers Productions, Kiss the Earth Films, Storyboard Productions, and Salem Street Entertainment. Some of the cast and crew: Eric Martin Reed as Mark, Kelly Grace Richardson as Madison, Ayla Carta as Abby, Alex Jarman as Adam, Quinn Lebling as Tilly, and Jeannie Taneja Azhar as Harper. This one is streaming on Hoopla. You can rent it on DirecTV, or you can rent or buy it on Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Fandango Now, Vudu, and Microsoft. Fear of Rain. 63% on tomato meter, 78% audience score. For teenager Rain Burrows, a diagnosis with schizophrenia means that every day is a struggle as she tries to figure out which of the disturbing images, harrowing voices, and traumatic feelings she experiences are real and which are all in her mind. But when Rain insists against her parents' advice that the shadows and cries from her neighbor's attic are hiding a dark secret, she enlists help from Caleb, the charmingly awkward new boy at school, who himself may not be real. This movie is a terrifying thriller that takes you inside Rain's mind. She confronts the frightening hallucinations of her imagination to determine whether there's real horror hiding right next door. It is rated PG-13 for violence and terror, disturbing images, some strong language, and mature thematic content. It is a drama, mystery, and thriller. Directed by Castile Landon, produced by Dory A. Rath, Joseph J. Restaino, Robert Malloy, and Joe Riley. Written by Castile Landon. It's 1 hour and 32 minutes long by Mirror Image Films, Sweet Tomato Films, Hungry Bull Productions, Zero Gravity Management, and Pinstripe Productions. Some of the cast and crew: Julia Bassi as Alexa, Harry Connick Jr. as John Burrows, Eugenie Bondurant as Danny McConnell, Israel Broussard as Caleb, Madison Eisman as Rain Burrows, and Katherine Heigl as Michelle Burrows. And this one is for rent on FlixFlame, or you can rent or buy it on Redbox, Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Fandango Now, Vudu, Microsoft Store, and DirecTV. The Map of Tiny Perfect Things. 77% on tomato meter, and the 77% on the audience score. This movie tells the story of a quick-witted teen, Mark, contentedly living the same day in an endless loop, whose world is turned upside down when he meets mysterious Margaret, also stuck in the time loop. Mark and Margaret form a magnetic partnership, setting out to find all the tiny things that make that one day perfect. What follows a love story with a fantastical twist as the two struggle to find out how and whether to escape their never-ending day. It's rated PG-13 for brief, strong language, some teen drinking, and sexual references. It's a romance fantasy drama, directed by Ian Samuels, produced by Ashley Fox, Akiva Goldsman, Gregory Lessons, and Aaron Ryder. Written by Lev Grossman. It is 1 hour and 39 minutes by Weed Road Pictures, Film Nation Entertainment. Some of the cast and crew: Al Madrigal as Mr. Pepper, Josh Hamilton as Daniel, Anna McCamey as Phoebe, Jermaine Harris as Henry, Kyle Allen as Mark, and Catherine Newton as Margaret. And this one is streaming on Prime Video. Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar. 78% on tomato meter, 66% on the audience score. Lifelong friends Barb and Star embark on the adventure of a lifetime when they decide to leave their small Midwestern town for the first time ever. It's rated PG-13 for crude sexual content, some strong language, and drug use. It's a comedy, directed by Josh Greenbaum, produced by Will Ferrell, Adam McKay, Kristen Wiig, Annie Mumolo, Jessica Elbaum, Tom Rothman, and Margaret Hand. Written by Annie Mumolo and Kristen Wiig. It's 1 hour and 46 minutes long by Lionsgate, Gary Sanchez Productions, Red Rum, Gloria Sanchez Productions. Some of the cast and crew: Wendy McClendon Covey as Mickey Revelet, Fortune Feimster as Pinky, Damon Wayans Jr. as Darlie Bunky, Jamie Dornan as Edgar Paget, Andy Mumolo as Barb, and Kristen Wiig as Sharon Gordon Fisherman Star. And this one's for rent only on Apple iTunes, Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Fandango Now, Vudu, Microsoft Store, Redbox, and DirecTV. I Blame Society. 89% on Tomato Meter, no audience score. The lines between art and real life begin to blur when an ambitious filmmaker realizes she's good at getting away with murder. It's a comedy horror, directed by Gillian Wallace Harvett, produced by Michelle Craig, Met Marie Cogsvin, Laura Tunstall, Monty Tajikic, written by Gillian Wallace Horvath, Chase Williamson. It is 1 hour and 25 minutes long by Nowhere. Some of the cast and crew: Alexia Rasmussen as Stalin, Keith Paulson as Keith, Chase Williamson as Chase, and Gillian Wallace Horvath as Jillian. And this one is available for rent or buy on Amazon Video, Google Play, YouTube, Vudu, Apple iTunes, and Fandango Now. Two more. Cowboys, 91% on Tomato Meter, 63% on audience score. Troy is a troubled but well-intentioned father who was recently separated from his wife, Sally. Aghast at Sally's refusal to let their trans son live as his authentic self, Troy runs off with Joe into the Montana wilderness. Meanwhile, police detective pursues them, but her resolve about the case is tested the more she learns about Joe's family. This movie is about modern-day Western from director Anna Kerrigan. It's a tale of rescue, family betrayal, and a father and son on the run. It's a drama, directed by Anna Kerrigan, produced by Gigi Graff, Anna Kerrigan, Chris Parker, and Dylan Sellers. Written by Anna Kerrigan. It is 1 hour and 23 minutes long. Some of the cast and crew: Chris Coy as Jerry, Bob Stevenson as Sheriff George Jenkins, Gary Farber as Robert Spotted Bird, Ann Dowd as Faith, Jillian Bell as Sally, and Steve Zahn as Troy. You can rent this for DirecTV, or you can rent or buy it on Amazon Video, Apple iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, Fandango Now, Vudu, and Redbox. Or you can also buy it on Microsoft Store. Alright, the last one. Judas and the Black Messiah. 96% on Tomato Meter, it's a 96% audience score. FBI informant William O'Neill infiltrates the Illinois Black Panther Party and is tasked with keeping tabs on their charismatic leader, Chairman Fred Hampton. A career thief, O'Neill revels in the danger of manipulating both his comrades and his handler, Special Agent Roy Mitchell. Hampton's political prowess grows just as he is falling in love with fellow revolutionary Deborah Johnson. Meanwhile, a battle wages for O'Neill's soul. Will he ally with the forces of good, or subdue Hampton and the Panthers by any means, as FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover commands? It is rated R for violence and pervasive language. It's a history drama biography, directed by Shaka King, produced by Ryan Coogler, Charles D. King, and Shaka King. Written by Will Burson and Shaka King. It's 2 hours and 6 minutes long by Participant Media, MACRO, and Broad Studios. Some of the cast and crew: Martin Sheen as J. Edgar Hoover, Ashton Sanders as Jimmy Palmer, Dominique Fishback as Deborah Johnson, Jesse Plemons as Roy Mitchell, Lakeith Stanfield as William O'Neill, and Daniel Kaluuya as Fred Hampton. And this one is streaming on HBO Max. Alright, well that is it. That's the movies coming out streaming on the 9th, the 11th. And those are single ones on both of those, and then the rest of them were February the 12th. Have fun watching the movies. This show is brought to you by Heartland Production Entertainment. If you'd like to help to make the show better, go to patreon.com/heartlandpae.